Welcome to the Stonebridge Jail. Do you have business with the incarcerated?
Isn't running a jail a bit complicated for an automaton?
I apologize, but I was not designed to answer questions of a remedial nature. I repeat, do you have business with the incarcerated?
I'd like to speak to the Krug prisoner. Fiddlewick asked me to appraise the situation and determine the Krug's fate.
Very well. It is Meister Fiddlewick's prerogative to entrust such decisions to strangers rather than automated constables with decades of experience. Please note that the Krug has been imprisoned for its own safety. It is highly unpopular with citizens, especially those who own pitchforks.
Krr.
How did you wind up behind these bars?
Krr. Krr.
Can you understand what I'm saying?
Krr. Ah, yes. Sorry about that. I've been having a terrible bout of phlegm lately. Yes, I can understand you perfectly. Why wouldn't I? Just promise me you won't do that thing where you talk slower and louder. Krr. That never works.
You're pretty well spoken for a Krug.
A Krug? Krr. Yeah, I guess that's what people think I am. I'm human. Just some ill twist of fate made me hideous and homely.
If you're not a Krug, why are you locked up?
I'm tired of being harassed and assaulted. This time I decided I'd let them think I'm a monster and keep me locked up. Krr. I've thought about getting out of here, but I have nowhere to go. I'm content to just stay here and daydream.
I have to decide whether you stay or go free.
Krr. Well, I suppose I've committed no crime, unless being hideous is illegal. But if it's all the same to you, I'm safe here. Let them go on thinking I'm a Krug. It won't hurt my feelings. If you let me go, have someone escort me out of the city at least.
Welcome to the Stonebridge Jail. Do you have business with the incarcerated?
I've come to a decision on the Krug.
I will enact whatever outcome you deem appropriate. Please enunciate carefully.
He's no Krug. He's a human. He should be released and given the full rights and protections of a legal citizen.
Very well. The Krug will be set loose and monitored for his protection, until he has integrated with the city or been stoned to death by angry mobs.
Krr. They sure do throw rocks awful hard.
I wasn't certain that the Legion had truly returned, but after witnessing your resolution of the plight of the oppressed Krug proletariat, it caused a great imbalance in my sanguine humors. Fairly had me bursting with them. Now then, we have much to accomplish. Shall we get started?
What do you mean by we have much to do? Who exactly are you?
Yes, we. First person plural, in this case collective. I could lend you this excellent book on grammar, but wait, I'm forgetting my manners. I am Reinhard Manx, scholar, inventor, and sartorial adventurer. I have degrees in advanced thaumaturgical studies and non-Goblinian geometry. Naturally, I also have a grounding in the classics, but more importantly to you, I am descended from the Grand Mage Merrick, a legionnaire through and through.
That would make him Merrick's last descendant then. In the old stories, Merrick was always more interested in making magic than, well, children.
Well, needless to say, it's been my dream to reunite with other children of the 10th Legion. Second only to the dream of a thaumaturgical waistcoat that can change its color and cut to match the latest season's fashions.
If you have Legion blood, why didn't you join us at the gathering?
Oh, you mean the invitation calculated to lure all the Legion descendants into one place? You must be joking. That was obviously a trap. One would have to be suicidal, or at least a great buffoon, to walk into that sort of setup. Oh my, do forgive me. I should have realized. I meant no offense. But in any case, no, I regretfully declined when that letter arrived.
You said you were a scholar, but have you seen any combat?
I'm hardly the mage that my great-grandfather was, but I was best in my class when it came to channeling and energy manipulation. I may possess a physique best described as suety, but by application of higher non-Goblinian mathematics, I could rip a man in half with a thought. Well, theoretically I could. It's not as though I practice on people. That would be rather rude, and mildly illegal, but mostly rude.
How have you lived in Stonebridge all this time? I thought this town had a bad history with the Legion.
Had I trumpeted my lineage, we would have seen democracy in action. The ballot would have been whether I would be lynched or dissected, but still. I used to dream that the Legion would rise up from the ashes. But I also dream of square circles, so make of that what you will. The people of Stonebridge may have committed a terrible crime against the Legion, but I think it's time to forgive and rebuild.
These people killed your parents, their friends, their comrades. You're willing to let them go unpunished?
Oh, certainly, criminals should be brought to justice, but I think you can have too much justice, too much reprisal. And, of course, forgiveness facilitates the open exchange of ideas. It's hard to have a symposium with a lynch mob. The Legion holds mercy and forgiveness in high regard. I try to live by that, except when it comes to demons, bankers, and cats.
Cats? Really? What do you have against cats?
My friend, if I have learned one thing and one thing only at the Collegium, it is this. Never trust a creature that eats more mice than you do.
We need everyone in the Legion to join forces. Are you with us?
Am I with you? Does the thaumaturgical constant Q trend towards infinity for given values of the human soul? The answer is yes, by the way. The Legion needs to stand together, lest we fade into memory. So without further ado, let's be off.
I should thank you for resolving the matter of the Krug. Such a small issue, but it required an outside voice.
Do you have another problem for me to mediate?
Yes, I do. Baron is a wealthy landowner with a claim to many parcels of land here in town. He wants to charge rent to Hans. Hans has an equally compelling claim to the plot of land. Mudgutter informs me it's a case of eminent domain versus original acquisition. With the court deadlocked, both have agreed to let you settle their dispute. I'll have them meet you at the chapter house.
Local markets. Please spend your currency at local markets.
They're here. I'm Hans. This is Baron. We have a disagreement, and we decided we'd abide by whatever decision you make.
Indeed. Years ago, the Legion settled disputes, and Hans and I have a conundrum that Stonebridge law can't resolve.
We have a moment to listen to your dispute. Since you're both willing to abide by the decision, we'll mediate as best we can.
I purchased a parcel of land 15 years ago, and have been selling my wares for ages. The Baron here tells me I owe him rent.
You see, I bought large tracts of land back in the days of the farmer. Hans was taken by a charlatan. I certainly didn't authorize the sale.
Yes, well, you did nothing to stand up for your claim to the land. After endless talk with the barristers, we are still deadlocked.
Hans, can you explain why exactly you think your claim is stronger than the Baron's?
My purchase to the land was vetted and signed by the city of Stonebridge. They failed to research the land's original ownership. But even so, I can claim the right of eminent domain. I've used the land for over 10 years, with no argument from the original owner. I feel terrible that the Baron's land was sold out from under him, but he had ample time to correct this mistake.
Baron, tell me more about your claim to the land.
By right of original acquisition, the law says the land is mine. I bought it first. Sure, it was human lifetimes ago, but first is first. I am an old goblin, so years pass like months for me. I didn't notice Hans had set up shop and claimed my land as is until recently. I think I'm being fair. He owes me rent for the last several years, and if he wants to stay, he needs to keep paying rent or he can leave.
I see. The laws are indeed at an impasse here, but I've come to a decision.
So what will it be? Is the land indeed mine, or does this human get to claim it?
The land wasn't Hans's to buy, but the Baron did nothing to protect his claim. You must divide the property or buy out the other's stake.
I guess that's about as fair a ruling as you could make. Also a coward's decision. But I said I'd honor it, so I will.
I can't fit my shop on half of that parcel, but I suppose I should be happy for anything. Thank you for taking the time to arbitrate this.
A deal is a deal. Hans, let's go figure out which half is yours and which is mine. Hopefully we don't need someone to arbitrate that.
Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways. Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways.
A human generation has gone by without the Legion here to settle disputes. At last, that tradition returns to Stonebridge. I know you have evil to smite, so it means a lot to me and to the city that you can take time for the little things. Here's a little something for your efforts. Now be careful out there.